Guten Tag, Frauleins and Frau Points. I'm TychoCelchuuu, and this is a Company of Heroes 2 shoutcast. I'm currently spectating the highest ranked auto match game in progress. There's 5 other viewers, so that means we've got a hot game on our hands. Folks, we've got Nerbo, the Nerbtastic Nerb here on the Ostherr, and if my game doesn't stop freezing, we have Chun down here on the Americans. We have a machine gun 42 coming out first for these people, and a rifleman coming out first for these people, and I feel like I've never played this map. No, I think I have. But this is a relatively new map, like a year old or something. Yeah, I've played this map. Okay, and let's take a look at the doctrines and the bulletins before I forget to do that. Mobile defense doctrine, big yawner right there, but you get the Puma, so that's cool. Osttruppen doctrine, big yawner right there, but you get supply drops? I don't know what's up with that. And close air support doctrine, big yawner, but you get all the airplanes. And let's see, grenadier rifles cool down 5% faster between shots. That's a nice one. Oh, that was good. You can tell this player is good because they started moving out of the capture zone right at the end of the capture. They didn't stick around. This guy, meanwhile, complete shit at the game. These riflemen have been idle for like 20 years. The United States player has lost the game already. I'm not even sure why I'm bothering to cast this worthless piece of shit player who can't get the rifleman moving through this weird-ass, like, cotton tree field or something like that. Let's see how long the rear echelons hang out in the church. It's a fairly resilient church, but they're getting shot at by, well, getting shot at by a machine gun, which is mostly hitting the wall. But that doesn't actually matter. Those little bullets you see, they don't mean anything. The shells that vehicles fire, those are real. The shells that mortars fire, those are real. If they hit something, then they can't hit the actual thing because they hit the thing. But the bullets impacting on, like cover and stuff, that's all for show. What's actually happening under the hood is that the bullets are maybe hitting, they maybe aren't, but that has nothing to do with what you see on your screen. So that's why those rear echelon got chewed up and had to get out. And that's really unfortunate because they're at such low health. Those guys are not the most resilient in the best of times, and that means the next engagement they get into, they're going to get pasted until the United States player gets a hospital truck out there. We have a sniper out third from the German player, and this could get ugly if the sniper gets caught out right here. The riflemen are doing the right thing. They're rushing. That's a really good reaction from the United States player. Notice that the sniper didn't even fire at the rifleman before the United States player noticed, and these riflemen are way out the hell in the middle of nowhere too. So that was pretty good, and also really good here in this engagement. The United States player had the riflemen further forward than the rear echelon troops. The rear echelon troops are still firing, so putting a bit of damage into the pioneers, but they were far enough away that the pioneers pretty much had no chance of hitting them, which is really important because even 1 or 2 hits from those MP40s, the pioneers carry would likely take out a rear echelon dude or something. But we have a nice cutoff set up by the Ostherr player, and now we have a mortar out from the Ostherr player to the United States player, electing to go 3 riflemen and then a mortar. 2 very common to see mortars out from the United States players these days. As I mentioned in one of my earlier casts, a nice attempted flank going on by the Americans. This mortar is probably going to be a big help trying to get this machine gun out of the church. So we have mortars from both players trying to do their best. This one has yet to get a kill, but it's going to be safe now with the rifleman here. And the question is, how long is this rifleman going to stick around so that the mortar can get some shots in? And the answer is not any longer. And now it's on the Ostherr player to see if they can push forward and recapture the middle of this map from the United States player. They just have to keep this cutoff going. Notice that I guess the sniper's going to hang around and keep that. Oh, the sniper's firing at this building. Man, what a crazy engagement we've got going on here. We've got, these grenadiers made it all the way down to the mortar, but the Bayes machine gun is nailing them, which is really unfortunate for the Ostherr player. It's going to be really hard, I think, for the Ostherr player to hold on to this. That machine gun's time in this building is limited. It's done a really good job holding on to the middle, and you've got a great cutoff for the Ostherr player. And if he cuts off this rifleman squad on the retreat, that'll probably be worth it to stick around. And that mortar comes in and kills a person, refocusing out this side. These grenadiers maybe not going to be able to come around the side and get the rifleman. That's really unfortunate that he couldn't get the rifleman back on that thing. And it looks like this machine gun is going to stick around long enough for the grenadier. Oh no, that was either a mistake or he's just completely pulling out of the house. I thought the machine gun was going to stick around long enough for the grenadiers to get in and keep the church for a while because he wanted to hold on to the church and keep the cutoff going. But that was just, I think he changed his mind and got everybody out of there. And now the grenadiers are maybe going to go down too. Lost the machine gun, by the way, in case you weren't really paying attention. Almost lose the grenadiers. That was good getting out these riflemen and maybe going to cut them off. What a crazy, we've just got so many, not so many fights, but what a nutty fight spread out all along the top and the bottom, like right down the middle. Look at this. True sight, folks. Kind of. I don't know what the fuck. That sniper, man, this is some Metal Gear Solid shit. This guy's like Solid Snake, and he doesn't want to get spotted, and the sniper is probably going to save him from that along with his squad. So that's actually really good bait from the sniper. A German player knows he can afford to take a little bit of damage on that sniper to for the sake of that grenadier squad that's retreating. And so that was a really epic cutoff by the Germans, and I really like that. He did pay for it quite a bit with that machine gun, and unfortunately wasn't able to capture much of the map during there. All the forces, all the German forces were sort of poured into this one vertical line on the map, keeping that cutoff going, which means he ends up in a fairly bad position once the American pushes him off. The reason that ended up going south, I think, for the German is that the entire cutoff hinged on this church and the machine gun in the church, and it was just getting pounded by the mortar, and the German player wasn't able to get the mortar or the sniper up far enough to deal with the mortar. I think it would have had to been, well, no, it could have been the sniper. I think the sniper could have been over here firing at the mortar, maybe even over here firing at the mortar, I'm not sure. But German player wasn't able to get his more effective combat units in to fight the mortar. Obviously the machine gun wasn't going to be able to do that, and then the only thing left were the grenadiers, but the nice mortar hit. The only thing, oh, that wasn't a mortar hit, that was a grenade. Good job, grenadiers. That's what your job is. Your job is to grenade. Grenadiers' job was not actually to grenade. Grenadiers are called grenadiers because they're the unit in the German army that evolved from the back in the Napoleonic era fight, or maybe even earlier, when they used to have people who are literally grenadiers. Their job was to like walk up to the people and throw grenades really far, and that was the grenadier unit in what was maybe not then the German army, maybe it was Prussian or something, but it eventually evolved into the German army, and the grenadiers were sort of the frontline infantry, and that's why they're called grenadiers. I'm turning into Imperial Dane, except not a Nazi. So we do have a quick tech to captain, which is fairly common for the Americans, and then we have a quick rush to Stuart, which is fairly common for the Americans. We have this mortar being a fucking bonehead and setting up right in the middle of goddamn nowhere. Maybe it served as bait for the sniper to nail the captain, which is pretty good considering every model you nail on the captain. Well, I can't see the reinforced process or the reinforced price right here, but that was unfortunate. The sniper missed the previous shot on the captain, so now he's got to retreat, which means the captain is probably going to get out of here alive. But no, every unit you nail on the captain is a lot of reinforced cost for the United States player. And so even though the captain at this point not super helpful because the German player hasn't been able to tech up because the German player doesn't have any goddamn fuel because the German player doesn't have any map control. Yes, and so because of that, the United States player doesn't need the captain to have the bazookas to take out the scout car or anything else that would be coming out, so the United States player could basically just throw the captain into the meat. Holy Jesus Christ, that was a incendiary thing. So this must be, well, I don't want to say this must be a guaranteed hit. I see people using it in a way that suggests maybe it's a guaranteed hit on people who are retreating, which I should really know at this point, but also they might just be using it because they're using it on a low health squad that they want to nail before it gets away, because it does slow them, stun them. So nice buys the Germans, clawing their way back in, inflicting some pretty good damage on the Americans, but I think the American teching advantage is going to be pretty devastating at this point for the Germans. Doesn't really have anything to do against this Sherman that we've got here. We did have a tech up to the Lichte Mechanized Company, and that means we can get an AT gun, and it means we are getting an AT gun, but it's going to be coming out fairly late, all things considered. We do have 27 fuel in the bank, so Lichte could have potentially been earlier. I'm not sure if the Pioneers were tied up doing stuff. It's gonna be a little belated, and this damage on the engine is nice, but of course the United States things can repair themselves, and we also have a rear echelon fairly close by. And so it's going to be a bad couple of seconds for the Germans until this AT gun comes in. No, it's not coming down that road. Comes in now. There we go. Where's the fighting? Machine gun over here. That's interesting. Mortar over here. Man, this mortar is not having a good day. Got decrewed once. Yeah, so I said the machine gun over here is interesting, and the reason for that is that the Sherman can really easily reposition over here and take that out, so I was sort of expecting the machine gun probably would have been used by the Germans in conjunction with the AT gun to form some sort of attack. But I guess the idea was to just try and claw your way back onto the map as much as possible. And honestly, that's not really happening for the Germans. Pushed off over here, doesn't even cap the VP. And we have riflemen here capping this strategic point. So it's not over for the Germans. If the Pak-40 can nail the Stuart, the Germans will be right back in the game. But definitely this player is being hindered by not having much map control, by going too hard into the middle cutoff and not being able to do anything when that collapsed, which is a metaphor for life. Did we ever go through the United States players' doctrines? I don't think we did, and that's good because none have been chosen yet. Wait, have we? No, we haven't. So Armor Company, pretty standard. Heavy Cavalry, which is cool stuff. I wish I had that. I don't have any of these fancy doctrines. And Tactical Support Company, which I definitely don't have either, so don't know how that'll turn out. Does anyone ever go Tactical Support Company? You get a free bar. The free bar upgrade. I like that. That's one of the reasons I like Infantry Company, because I don't like having to buy the bar upgrade. But, oh, so here we're going to have a really important engagement with Pak-40 setting up and gets a nice hit on the Stuart. It's likely going to get one more, and the Stuart is not actually damaged with any critical. It's down to low health, but no critical damage. I believe they changed how critical damage worked a while ago. You have to get lower health before you're likely to lose your engine or something. There was a nice, presumably mortar hit. Yeah, that must have been a mortar hit from fairly far away, but it fucking wiped out the MG42, so he's got to go for the Pioneers. And we do have the bar upgrade purchased by the American player over here. No grenades, though, which is interesting versus the Oster, because grenades are so great against the MG42, and they're just good in infantry combat generally, but they don't seem to be as essential as perhaps they once were. I see a lot of people skipping grenades. This is going to be bad. That guy's probably dead. He might be out of sight, though. Yeah, he's out of sight range, so that was a good retreat by the Oster. Would maybe be worth thinking about a medic bunker, and that's exactly what we've got going on here. That's belated, but goodness, bit of a mismanagement by the American player, losing an entire rifleman squad to, I don't think that was a grenade. I think that was just grenadiers fucking owning it up without even an LMG-42. So that was an uncharacteristic mistake from the American player, and that's actually going to cost a fair amount. The Sherman, or no, the Stuart's going to be back into action pretty soon, but you know, mostly what the German player has been losing are these weapon crews, which are expensive to replace. They're not like the cheapest things in the world, but you know, all you have to do is click on it with a squad and then reinforce the squad. It's not like you actually lose a unit. I don't think the German player has lost a unit aside from the MG42. So that means the German player is potentially in a better position to claw their way back with this thing. Where's the Puma? There's the Puma. So we now have a Puma. Puma's fairly good counter to Stuart's. Stuart's fairly good counter to Puma's. Pumas often win the fight just because they do more damage, but a lot of that hinges on luck. I guess this green cover is doing pretty well for the rear echelon. That grenade didn't take him out. A lot of it hinges on luck, because if the Puma misses a shot or two, the Stuart fires faster, and it can maybe start ticking down the Puma. We're just lost a unit. Jesus. Looks like a rifleman squad killed by a sniper and a mortar, maybe. So now things are looking actually a little dire. Oh, look at this. These guys are at 4 people. If they can get it back without losing anybody, excellent. I love that shit. Then they're going to go back to the medics, and the medics are going to bring them up. So that's 0 manpower lost for the German player. A nice machine gun getting some damage in on these people. I'm not sure if it refaced itself or if the player refaced it on purpose, but that's a great way to tie down this captain and take him out with just the Pioneers, a little low importance unit. Nice hit from the Puma, and so the German player is right back in this game, taking some serious damage from that mortar, though. How's the mortar doing? Vet 1, much the way to Vet 2. If that MG42 doesn't get out of there very fast, things are going to be bad. I think the idea is to serve as bait for the German mortar, so it can finally take out that pesky United States mortar, but that's a really risky game you're playing. Yeah, it looks like we do have the barrage called in, so that's for sure what the German player is doing, but look how low health these MG42 guys are. I'd get them the fuck out of there if I were you. Oh, no, look, nice hit. Oh, nice hit. But that was a risky game. One of those shells could have fucking owned the MG42, and you can't really afford that. Did I miss some? I probably missed. I think the Puma got hit by a rifle grenade, anti-tank grenade from the. Oh no, wait. Well, I guess it'd be off cooldown by now anyway. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that was an AT grenade. I looked away, and I probably should have been watching that. But German player again, totally back in this. Where are the Pioneers? Pioneers got to repair the Puma, but they're all the way over here, and they've got to cap these 3 things. So that's going to be a little while before the Puma's in ship shape. That's unfortunate. Maybe think about buying another, whoa, 2 Austrian squads. You don't get 2, do you? I guess you must get 2 at once. I don't know, fuck off, because I don't have any of these fucking doctrines. How am I supposed to know how they work? Jesus. Yeah, so now between the Pac 40 and the Puma, things are looking up. We do have a tech to a major, which happened a while ago. And so I guess we'll maybe see a Sherman coming out. What else would you tech to major for? I don't know, we'll have to see. There's actually some options. So there's the M10, or not the M10, the M36, which is a very good Puma counter. And when you see your opponent go this Austrupen doctrine, the mobile defense doctrine with the Pumas, you can maybe expect some Puma spam. Puma spam pretty common. The MG42 did get retreated at one point and healed up. Where is it now? It's back at the base. It really ought to be out in the field. That could have really helped because the United States player just steamrolled the Germans in the middle, and that could have been... What the fucking... Losing a rifle squad somewhere? Losing a major. The major's dead. Well, as if that matters. No, it's important not to lose your major because they can call in the little artillery on the spot and wipe out. Man, unit preservation from the United States player just isn't doing it. That was a really good assault from the United States, pushed the Germans off, and that was the time to reestablish control of the entire map for the United States player, but then he fucked it all up by losing a lot of units, and now we have a... that looked like a grenade coming in, but those guys don't even have grenades. I don't know. Ooh, nice. Nice. That's... do they have the canister shot, right? They have something, I think. The Steward did use some sort of ability, which I have no idea because I don't know anything about this video game. Oh no! Get away, little men. And wiped out a squad, so helping equalize things a tiny bit. But that was just the no, that wasn't the Pioneer squad. It was the Pioneer squad. This is a brand new Pioneer squad. So yeah, they wiped out a Pioneer squad. That's not nothing, especially when that Puma needs the repair. But given that the opponent just bought Pioneer squad to replace it, it's not the biggest deal. And it was in fact a Sherman coming out, so this could push things in the Americans' favor after that aborted assault. And look at the map control that the German players reestablished. 26 fuel income versus 10 fuel income. Do we have the... yeah, we have the HE rounds loaded in the Sherman, so it's going to wreck the face of these guys. They tried to Faust it, but that did fuck all because it hit the front. And here comes the Stuart. I was expecting that to be a Puma, but that would be a very bold Puma. This is a big mistake, moving straight into the Pac 40 like this, but the United States player can just circle straight now with these 2 tanks, and that'll take things down. That does leave him vulnerable to the Puma. Man, Puma targets the Sherman. Don't know if that was on purpose or not. I would have... oh, Jesus. I don't know. Because the thing is, it doesn't help you at all to just chip away at these United States vehicles. You need to kill them, or their crew will just repair them. Interesting choice getting flamethrowers on these brand new Pioneers. Pop some smoke to get the Puma out here. Might get a nice hit in on the Sherman. Does the Pac 40 is completely decrewed, so that's out of it, and it looks like the Sherman somehow nails it through the smoke. That doesn't make any sense, but it did nail it through the smoke with HE shells. HE shells can still penetrate the Puma. Second Puma comes in, takes out the Stuart. So far, things are looking up. I think for the United States player, I would trade a Stuart for a Puma if I had a Sherman. But if... oh no, main gun destroyed, and now we have a crazy infantry assault that I can barely keep track of. We have the Pac 40 requisitioned by the Americans, but it gets flamed out, so that's going to really hurt this rifleman squad. We have some nice mortar hits coming in, taking out the German infantry, but it looks like the Germans are generally winning the fight. Are the Osttruppen going to be able to hold out versus the mortar barrage? The answer is maybe. Let's wait and find out. And this flamethrower, which I was dubious about, is actually really paying off. It decrewed the Pac 40. Osttruppen are down. That was so bloody. And the Sherman, of course, did get wiped out by the Puma because its main gun was destroyed. And there's nothing you can do once your main gun is destroyed and the Puma's shooting at you. So, looking like the German player has this in the bag. And that was really good timing on my part because the United States player just quit, I assume. There's pretty much no way the German player quit. So that was a really fun back and forth engagement thing. Video game match game. There's a pond over here. It's a river. I don't know what's up with this. It just stops in the middle of the... It's like a beach. It's a weird ass beach. Do you ever see beaches where trees are just like right up on the edge? Does that happen? Is that a boat? Look at that boat. It's a barge. Bye now.